Hello, Brother Sewing and Crafting family. I'm Brother Brand Ambassador Angela Wolf, and we are at your side virtually. So we are taking over the Brother Sewing and Crafting Facebook and YouTube pages, and wait till you see what we have planned today. I have the fabulous Barbara Jones, and I just got a sneak peek of what she's working on, and you're not going to want to miss this. So if you've never been here before, say hi, say where you're from. I can see all of your comments, and we always take breaks to answer your questions. So I'm just making sure there's a couple of bad storms going through on my end and Barbara's end. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that the internet works today. But I see you all are now, I'm assuming you can hear and okay. Let me know if not. So let's bring Barbara up. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
Just fine. Waiting for the weather.
I know it just went through and I could hear it lightning more. So there must be something else going out there right now, and I'm sending it your way.
Thank you.
So everybody, your background looks fantastic. I see the beautiful machine. What are you going to be showing us today?
I'm going to be using the auto sash that we find on the Luminaire in a different way. So I'm not using it as the conventional sashing. I'm going to be using it to quilt.
This is going to be very cool. Now that feature, by the way, for those of you that are new to quilting or maybe just purchased a Luminaire or maybe you haven't played around on it yet, that quilt sashing is a very, very cool technique. It's not even a technique. Well, it is a technique, but what would you call it? It's
enhancement. I mean, what do you call it?
It's beautiful. And there's so many different ways
right.
that you could use it. I mean, and I cannot wait to see yours. And you've probably already seen on other shows with Brother where you can punch in your numbers, everything's there, and you just follow it around. I cannot wait to see how you take and twist this around.
It's usually so easy because every step is on the screen. So you finish one part and it tells you exactly what you need to do on the second part and the third and the fourth. And you can actually go up to 118 inches down, across and down. So a king size quilt.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is huge. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what you have. Everyone's already rolling in. They're saying hello. They cannot wait.
Good. All right. So I'm going to switch cameras to some of the samples that we have, and then I'll go into how how it's done. Okay.
Okay. Great.
All right.
Okay,
so
while she's switching, I can see you all rolling in. Yes. Yes. Is this different from your? Hold on a second. Is this different from At Your Side show? Hey, Cindy, this is At Your Side virtually. It's the same show, Tuesdays and Thursdays, that we always show on Brother. So, yep, and we are live right now. So there is Barbara. I'll bring her up.
Okay.
Ooh, look at that.
Okay. Can you hear me? I moved.
Oh, yes. And look at that sample.
All right. So conventionally, you would go around your border with a regular border, and it, as I said, it puts it down in pieces, and then you go to the next one and it puts it down and it lines it up perfectly. Let's see if I can find I think can you see that right there?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where it joined the sections. So here to here was so that's 3 pieces, and then you go and do the next 3 pieces or 4 pieces, however the machine has determined to break it up. But Tony, during our pandemic, one of the other educators, Tony Warish, decided she was going to use the pieces to quilt. So she used the independent pieces. So when you develop the auto sashing size, it gives you an automatic way to do it, which would be your border. And then it gives you pieces. So she took the pieces and actually put it into her squares.
Oh, my word.
So another useful, here's the little one. All right. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I asked her if I could borrow her quilt because you know me, I get going on something and sometimes I don't finish, I'm a Pisces. What can I say? So I decided to test this out, and I stitched out some samples. Now, normally the quilters will want to pull up their threads when they start, and it's easy enough to turn off the thread cut after the color at the end. So then you can turn it over, pull your stitches or your thread to the back, and then bury them if you're a traditional quilter. So this is also, this is the single, and then that is the triple. So
Wow,
you can see the difference in the thickness.
yeah, you really can tell the difference in that.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I love how you just use little pieces of that instead of all the way around.
Right, right. So these were a couple samples that I stitched out, and then I decided, okay, let me see if I can size. So this was the original up at the top, and then I blew it up a little bit. Then I shrunk it down and added another one.
Wow.
And then I blew the single one up as far as I could. That's 200% up. So, you know, with our machines, our sizing, you can recalculate the stitches. So,
You know, that's so for someone who's like, wait, I don't understand. That is from one piece
yes,
of the quilt sashing.
yes. hmm
Unbelievable.
See, when it separates it out, it gives you pieces along the way. So it gives you your corner. It gives you the, sometimes it gives you a single, sometimes it gives you two, sometimes it gives you three. However, it calculates the distance from corner to corner. That's how you're going to get the individual pieces, or the two, or the, you could do actually four. It all depends on the size of your quilt and the size of whatever the border is that you put in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very creative.
All right. So you know my love of my design center, right?
Oh, yes.
I just love working in my design center. So what I did was I kind of combined this. So this is hard to see because I didn't use the triple stitch here. I should have. But can you see how I filled in that one square?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then I took it into my design center and added the candle wicking around the stars and around the tree.
Oh, that's absolutely gorgeous.
See, and there's a square filled in with one of the stitches, one of the borders. This is a circle. So, I mean, you can quilt with your auto sashing. It's just not, you just don't have to use it for the borders.
I
So,
love that.
yeah, yeah. So what I'm going to show you is how to bring it, how to calculate, how to bring it in, and how to size it. And I've got a quilt that I'm working on that's already on the machine, and we'll switch over to the machine now.
Sounds good.
Okay.
While she's switching, I just have to say, I could see this. I see a mute here. I could see this for garments because you have little pieces, so you could go around maybe your cuff, down the leg, things like that, instead of having to do the big rectangle. So cute. All right, she's back.
I am back, and there's my head. Okay, I'll get out of the way. So I have a quilt already on the machine and already in the hoop. I'm using the magnetic sashing hoop, which I love. This is a flannel fabric, and it has a plush on the back. So when I said that the traditional quilters would typically pull up their beginning and leave the tail at the end, on this one, I tried it with one square, and it was, no. I was going to let it do its own knots because honestly, and I'll show you when I turn this over. I don't have it so that you can see the back of it just yet, but I couldn't find the threads to pull through. I mean, it was so thick with the plush. So I have let it do its own knots, and you can hardly see the knots on the back because of the plush. So
Yes.
I think that works just fine. So, all right, so let me move over here. And as I told you, I had to crawl underneath the lights and the cameras here. So we're gonna zoom in a little bit on this screen. And
Barbara, this is what we call yoga live.
that's correct. That is so true. So let me get it straight so we can work on the screen here.
And Barbara is on the Brother Luminaire. Some
Luminaire.
people were asking. So yes, the Luminaire.
Yes, Luminaire. So, all right, I was in the middle of pulling something up, but let's start from the beginning. Is the screen big enough so you can see?
Yeah, we can see it great. Let me just take this banner off the top real quick just to give you more room.
Okay.
There you go.
Cool. All right. I'm going to pull my chair in just a little bit. Sorry for my headshot.
Your hair
Okay.
looks fabulous.
Thanks. Just let me know if I get in the way. All right. So
Okay.
we're going to go into embroidery, and I'm using a mouse so that my hand is not on the screen for you. So in the category down here, it's Q. We're going to go into the Q, and these are all of the different borders that we have available on the Luminaire. So there's 20 of single colors, and there's 5 double colors or 2-color. So if you wanted to do a 2-color border, it would go, when you had the pieces, it would take the first color, go around, and then it would ask you to change the color and put in the second color, go around, and then you would move it. All right. So I'm not going to do the 2 colors because it's not going to show up on this quilt anyway. And I don't need to be, the single color is just fine. We also have hexagons, which are really, really pretty. So there's a lot of different styles in the hexagons as well. So let's go back to the single color. Now I had taken a few of these and made them up. This is one that I had not done, the squares, and I was just experimenting with it. So I'm going to choose the square and press set. You have a choice of 4. If it's a small enough quilt, you can do it in 4 steps. But I want the pieces, so I'm going to do it in the multiple steps. So choose that. And it doesn't matter what size you put in because all you want are the pieces. So I kind of have stuck with like 37 across and set. And maybe 61 down and set. And because you can change the size of the pieces, it doesn't matter what size you initially put in for the width of your border, because you're really not doing a border, but you're going to size these pieces to fit into squares or rectangles, So we're going to say 2.5. That works pretty good. And set. So here you have, I'm using the, I'm not using the 10.5 by 16, but at this point I don't care. If you were you would tell it what frame or what hoop you're using so that it can calculate, because it calculates differently for the different size frames. So honestly, I'm using the 7 by 14 magnetic frame. So we'll touch next. It says it has 24 pieces. There are my measurements. So the length was 61, the width is 37, and I have a total of 24 different pieces. That doesn't mean that there are 24 pieces. That means there might be 4 of one size and 2 of another, plus your corners. So it's calculated how it's going to maneuver the way around. Now, I want a heavier stitch. So down here at the bottom, can you see that? Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I turn around and look on my screen. Sorry.
No, we can see.
Okay. You have a choice of a single go around or the triple go around. For this on the flannel, I have decided I really like the heavier stitch. So I'm going to say, let's go for the triple. And I'm going to put this into memory. And it does that every time. It's always going to save it in the machine's memory. So we're going to say, okay. And it's going to save it to the memory. And now I'm going to go get it out of the memory. And you can see all of the different ones that I had played with along the way.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. Yeah. So I've been playing because I wanted to have some samples done for you so that you could actually see what you can create. So we'll take that one. And now I think you can see that you have the automatic way around, where it shows you and tells you exactly what to do along a border, or you have all these pieces. Now you've got this corner, you've got the single, or the double rather, you've got a triple, and I guess that's all, just the triples. Okay. And then you got another single down here. This is the one, it's just one piece. So this is your corner, and this is one piece, 2 pieces, and 3 pieces. So I'm going to estimate that we're going to use the 2. So I'm going to choose that and press set. And it's hard to see, so I'm going to change the color to a rosy pink so you can see it a little bit better. Is that better?
Oh, yes, much
Okay.
better.
Touch OK. Now I'm going to scan my fabric so that I have a background to put this in. And so we're going to go scan, touch the scan, and it tells me that the frame is going to move. And yes, I know that. And this quilt is very heavy, so I'm kind of going to support it. I have a drawer in this table, and I'm just going to support it on the drawer. And it's going to scan. Let me pull out so you can see. I couldn't believe how heavy this quilt actually got when I put that plush on.
That plush will make it so soft on the back, though.
It is. It's wonderful. And this was out of a pre-cut 10-inch pack. It was a cool little design and easy to do. So, okay. So now I have my scan in here, and okay. It's close enough to there that I know that that's just the edge of it. And as I said, I'm using the magnetic frame, so I can pull this just a hair. I want the edges to show. I also want it straight, so I love this magnetic frame. It's great. All right, I'm going to scan it one more time if you don't mind.
We don't mind at all. Actually, okay. While you're scanning, Arnell said, what needle are you using?
7511.
7511, Arnell. Yep. There you go.
Yep. I change my needle when I'm using metallic, but for the most part, I use a 7511.
That's a safe one.
Yeah, it is. And I was doing metallic for sewing on one of the leaf panels, and I was doing it all in metallic, and I did have the metallic needles in. So, okay. I didn't move it that much, but I can see that the edge is right there.
Oh, so, yes, we can see that. We can see that really well now, too.
All right. Let's go in a little bit here. Okay. So we can close the scan, and we can go in there, and I think I'm going to make that even a darker color so that I can actually see it on the screen. Kinda. Can you? It's so thin, it's hard to tell. Can you see the?
Yeah, we can see it. If everyone looks closely up at the top left, you can really see it there.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the recalibration of sizing. So in other words, when I go up here to size, I have a choice of up 20, down 10, or going over to this tab over here and recalibrating the stitches. So if I do this now, that will be forever. Whenever I change anything, it will recalibrate the stitches because I've told it that's what I want it to do. So I'm going to recalibrate the stitches. And now I'm going to go to rotate because the square I want to work in is right here. So I'm going to rotate 90 degrees. Okay. And then I'm going to pull it down into the section. Maybe if
Yeah, we can see that.
You can?
Yep.
All right. Because I can zoom in a little bit more. Oops, wrong way.
Hey, Star. Yes, while she's moving that around, Star. Yes, that magnetic frame goes. It's specifically for the luminaire, so it is a brother product.
All right, that better?
Yeah,
you can actually see the boxes now. All right, and what I'm going to be doing is switching between sizing and rotating so that I can get 2 of these in here. I could just use one and make it really big and fill up the whole thing, but I want a little more quilting in here, so I'm going to size and rotate. And the only reason I'm rotating is if I have put something in the hoop a little crooked, and I have to rotate it so everything is straight. So we're going to go up close and personal here. Let's go to 150, and I'm going to move it down so we can all see. Okay. All right.
Wow,
All
we
right.
can see that great.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to pull it out just a little bit so you get the whole picture. There you go. Okay. So I know that this is probably going to be more than half. So I'm going to go back up to edit. I'm going to size it, and I'm going to size it down a little bit. So remember, I rotated it. So my width and my length are opposite. So if I want it to be narrower here to here, I would have to do the width because I rotated it. So I just made it a little smaller. Let me take the hand off. And now I'm going to move this down into position. Okay. Now I need to take it and make it a little bit narrower. So I'm going to, can you see how I'm fussing with it?
Oh, yes.
Okay. That's about half this rectangle. And I got it the size I want, pretty much. I'm going to go a little bit wider so it fits. So you kind of just play with it until you get it kind of in the middle, one half in the middle, or one hole in the middle, depending on what you're doing. What your taste is, what you'd like to do. All right, so I'm going to touch OK. I'm going to go up here to duplicate, and I'm going to move the second one up here. Okay, and it looks like I'm a little crooked on the square, so I'm going to go into rotate again. So again, I go back and forth between rotate and there we go.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
great.
Was that like a 1%?
1%.
Because like
Yeah,
I think
not the 0.01, but the 1.
yeah, so
So
for those of you watching, you can actually rotate like an itsy
yeah.
bitsy bit when you
Yeah.
do that. And I'm a perfectionist, so I'm always
Yeah.
like 0.01, 0.01.
Yes, you and me both. But I'm
Uh-huh.
lining up the line that's above, it has a red box around it. So you can kind of see that the red box is equal to the rectangle itself. So I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to make it come down a little bit because I want the two of them to look like they were synchronized here. I'm going to touch this one and I'm going to rotate it just one. That looks great. See, it's all even here and here. And then let's see, it's okay here. And I could actually pull this one over just a little bit. And yes, I am persnickety about these things. So, okay, we have our new design to go into the square. So I'm going to save this to memory because I have a huge quilt to do and I don't want to keep doing this. So I can save it to memory and go and pull them up each time I want a different square. Okay, so that looks pretty good. We're going to go to embroidery and we are going to go to our projection because I always double check again, being persnickety. I want to make sure that it is where I want it to be placed. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm going to turn the camera, so look away if you get a little seasick here.
We're used to that. It's rough out today. It'd be a little sporty.
Yeah. So you can see the projection screen here, and it's very difficult for you to see, I think. We'll go zoom in and try and move a little bit. There, I think you can see it.
We can.
Yes. So it projects down on the fabric, and I can check the tops and the bottom just by moving the projection screen a little bit. And I can see that it's about a 1/4 inch all the way around, and it looks great to me. So make sure my needle is threaded. I'm using the green. I've been alternating between the green and the pink. I love that. Just love that. And we're going to say, start stitching.
Everyone is loving the colors of your quilt.
Oh,
And
thanks. Yeah, this really came together nicely. I do like the colors. I love the and the backing. I mean, the backing is plush. But this is an easy way to, I mean, I'm not a long armer. I don't have a long arm. I wouldn't probably be any good at it anyway because I can't free motion quilt. So this is my way of quilting if I'm not in my design center. And I, again, love my design center. And I think I've shown you things that I've done on my design center before.
hey, Barb,
Yeah.
Vera says it's beautiful. Here's a quick question for you. What are you using in the bobbin? What thread?
Regular bobbin thread.
Just regular bobbin.
If I was worried about the back, I would perhaps match it. But
Okay.
again, I'm using plush, and it just buries itself. After this is done, I'll turn it over and I'll show you. You can't see the knots and you can't see the thread. All you see are the indentations, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's. I like it. I like the way it's coming out. So, but it's easy, and this is the heavier stitch, so it does go over it 3 times, and then like a backhand stitch in crewel work, where you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So that's what the machine is doing. For those of us who have done crewel, I don't think I've done it in 20 years. So, and it's hard to see laying down, but I'll pick it up when it's done.
Well, we can see that really good. And you can actually, if you look really close, you can see the stitches. You know what I'm amazed about is you have the camera that close and it is so quiet.
I know. Now, because I didn't say do it all in one color, when this is finished, I have to do the other half. So we'll do the other half. But this is a great way of individually custom stitching each block. Okay, now it's going to do the other half, so I have to put the foot down and go. I think you can kind of see some of the stitching in the first set that did. But by combining these individual pieces, it fills up the rectangle and it creates a different look.
It really creates a different look because if you added this with the sashing around the outside as well,
Yes.
It really will bring that quilting together so nicely.
Right. Just a few minutes more. But this is custom quilting. May not be as fancy as some of the long armors, but it certainly holds the quilt together, and it's individual custom.
It's beautiful. And you're sitting there drinking a cup of coffee.
I am.
Watching it embroider. Now, how easy is that?
My back does not hurt. My arms are not sore. Yep, exactly.
You're only sore from doing yoga trying to crawl under the table for the live show. That's all. That's
Yes.
Okay, though.
There are wires everywhere, I'll tell you. Almost. One more square.
Beautiful. I agree, Beverly. Isn't this beautiful?
The interesting thing is the back. I love the back, the way it's turning out. So it's a nice effect. So, I mean, I think you're only limited by your imagination. So you can use any of these pieces. Some of them look better together. Some of them look better by themselves. It just depends. So you have to kind of play and practice. And if you don't like it, just go on to the next one. But so far, I haven't found one that I didn't like. There's one block that I will do differently, but it still was okay the way. That was the first block that I did. So.
And, I'm just watching that embroidery. You lined that up so well.
That projector is the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
The
Really
standard
nice.
projector, Wonderful. Okay, we're done.
Just like that. Boom.
Yep. All right, so let me pop it out of the hoop. And what's nice about this magnetic hoop is you don't have to take the bottom off when you're shifting. You just kind of pull it over and do another one. So, all right. So, where we are. There
I'll
we are.
bring you up by your, there you go, right there. Oh, yes. We can see that just perfectly.
Okay, I'm going to lay it down on the table and show you some of the other ones that I did.
Okay.
And we can get a
All right,
better
while she's
better look. Okay, so let me change the camera to the sample table.
sounds good. Oh gosh, I just saw Lucy's comment. Lucy, it's so great to see you again, by the way. She finally made a live show, and yes, that was a big fish. I was on a little bit of a vacation, and a lace fish, that would be hilarious. Add it to a quilt, right? All right, Barbara's back.
All right, here you go. All right, so let me get it up a little closer.
Just gorgeous.
There's one that I took one piece of the border. This is what I'm using in all of the little rectangle pieces, is this one right here.
Wow.
So each rectangle piece will have the same thing. But this was the first one I did. And I really think that I'm not thrilled with that one. And it's only a single go around. Here's another one.
Actually, I like them all. They all are just beautiful. You
I
can
like
really
them,
tell
yeah.
the
It's
difference.
just I keep getting better. Here's one. There again is the single. Oh, this is one of my favorites. It's a little hard to see.
That's really cool.
Here's another one with the flowers.
You know, Barbara, you can really tell the difference when it has the triple stitch on there.
You can. All right, so the back, this is what the back looks like, and this is very heavy, and I don't want to hit the camera here. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Look what's happening to the back. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I'm not going to say I like the back better. I mean, that looks like an entire quilt on its own.
Yes. Doesn't it? It really, really does.
Wow.
I love so the one you couldn't see too much or too well is right here. I love the curve. So this is 2 corner pieces that I put together, that I rotated and put together. Again, this is the one with the 2 pieces that I just flipped. The grapes, I just did the grapes. Can you see the grapes?
Let me see. Bring them down just a little bit. Yes, now we can see them.
Okay. So I did, it's a one section, and I just flipped it and put it in. This again was a corner piece. It's hard
Wow.
with the shimmer. So this was a corner piece like this, and then the corner piece here. And when you match them, you just butt them up together if you want them to touch. It's fun. Here's the one that we just did.
Beautiful.
So it's really a lot of fun. So
yes, Dalia, these designs are all in the Luminaire.
yes, let me get another square, or rectangle rather. I'll put it on the machine.
And then while you were, do you have any issues with that super soft fabric in the back causing lint? Someone asked that. Do you have issues with lint in the machine or anything like that when you're sewing that?
All right, let me switch to the machine and we'll look, because I really haven't paid attention at the moment.
All right, so when she'll get back to you on that. But everybody's saying that's absolutely gorgeous. I agree. The back is I would do that and give it as gifts. Of course, much smaller.
Yeah, right. All right, so let's look. Let's pop. This is what I love about the Luminaire as well. You just pop this open, pull it out, and here's my bobbin case with the bobbin. And no, not really.
I don't see any lint.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I don't
no.
think I'm just cracking up. I'm like, oh, we get to see in your lint box. It's like,
Well, let's see. I have a paintbrush here. Let me see if I can get any lint out. How about that? One little piece.
oh, yeah. And you've already finished that whole other part of the quilt. So yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much nothing.
So no. And with the plush, I did. I think you can see it on the edge here. I ironed on a uh, a soft interfacing. It had an iron-on backing to it because
Okay.
this has stretch,
Oh,
and I didn't want this to stretch when I was trying to sandwich the quilt. So I
so is
did
it like
iron.
a lightweight fusible interfacing type thing?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It is. It's a fusible, and it comes. I think it's 24 wide or 18
Okay.
wide, and probably 10 yards to a bolt. So I keep it on hand when I am stitching baby items. I sometimes put it on the back of the embroidery so that the baby doesn't get the scratching from all the embroidery stuff on the back.
Oh, that's a good idea. What about, are you using batting at all in that?
No, no batting. Mm-mm,
No batting. I saw
no
somebody ask
batting.
that. So,
I can only imagine what it would be if I used the batting. How heavy it would be.
oh yeah.
It would really be heavy. All right, I'm going to have to get in front, stand up and get in front. There we
All
go.
right. Well, she's putting her bobbin case back in.
There we go. One more.
But in case
Love
you
it.
missed that, by the way, did you see how she just touched that button and that bobbin case pops
I
open
just love it.
and snaps it back down? So much easier than having to unscrew all those little screws.
Yeah,
I
I
used
don't
to
think I
drop
would
on
have.
the floor and then
Right.
I'd have to roll around and my cat would chase them around.
Yep. Yep. And I don't think I would have opened that up for you all had I had to unscrew the two screws. We would have been here until next Tuesday.
Oh
So
gosh. Oh, so I know we talked about what bobbin thread are you using. What thread are you using in the top? Just regular sewing thread, or are you using embroidery thread?
embroidery thread.
Embroidery thread.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
There you go, Fran.
So I don't know whether I can get this closer. It's hard with the printed fabric. It is so hard to see. Okay, I have to go backwards there. Backwards. There we go.
Oh, look at that. Gorgeous.
Yeah. So it's been fun. Oh, this is the one I really, really like that I just did. Where is it? I'm not, as I said before, I'll never make a weather girl. So this is the corner to one of them. And I just inverted, one goes one way and the other one goes the other way. And you can see that I just made them touch. So it looks like one piece all together.
Wow.
There's the grapes.
Those grapes are really cute. Now, are
They
the grapes
are.
originally two color?
No, it's in the
They're
one color as well as the two color. It's
Oh, okay.
it's both. So all right, let's do the black one so you can actually see a real contrast. And where am I? Okay.
And you're going to get to see how easy. Now, she has not taken the magnetic hoop off of the machine.
No.
She's sliding that on and then using the magnets back on there. That is one of the coolest parts.
It is.
Well, I love the magnetic frame for making lace because I can just keep sliding my tool down. Same
Right.
thing with the big old quilt.
Right. Now I kind of have an idea of it put itself on. I need about 3/4 of an inch over here in order to catch both edges of the quilt.
Okay.
So that's good. And this quilt is so heavy it almost sits by itself. So, and then drag it down.
By the way, just out of curiosity, while you're doing that, did you the interfacing that you're talking about? Is it the same thing they use on the back of T-shirts or a T-shirt quilt?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. The T-shirt quilts that I use a gridded one, but there aren't the non-grids out there. I use the grid on the T-shirts so that I get everything straight. So, okay. Oh, I wonder if we're too far up. Sorry, gang.
That's all right. We like watching.
I need to move it up a little bit. I was so concerned with the side edges.
Lucy, I agree. Lucy said, thanks for mentioning you don't have to take the hoop off. You know, actually, at first I kept taking it off as well, Lucy, forgetting that you could just do it right there on the machine.
Right. There's also the arrows on the bar, the magnetic piece itself. This arrow goes in towards the center. So your screws are out here on the outside. Okay, so just, that's the only thing you have to really worry about. Because it actually has a way of seating on the rim that's here. So, all right, and I have there's other magnets that you can use if the fabric is squishy, or, you know, like you have a satin on it, you don't want the satin to shift. There's other magnets. On this piece, I don't find it necessary, and it's just quicker to use the 4 big ones. Okay, so let's go back in and we'll pick another design. How about that? Let's come back out and we'll go over here. Okay, so we're finished with this design, and we're going to go into embroidery, go back into my auto sashing, and let's see. I have not done this one with the little flowers. That's the one that Tony used all the way around her border, and then some of them inside her quilt as well. So this would be interesting on the black to see. So let's choose that one. Again, I'm going to use the multiple pieces, and I've been using about 35 and 60. I use odd numbers, 63 maybe set. And you're just trying to get pieces, so you really don't care what the size is. And 2.1, there we go, 2.5, okay, and set. And again, I'm using, I don't know whether it matters, but I'm using the 7x14 magnetic hoop. And we have 26 pieces this time because I'm using a smaller hoop. So when I use the larger hoop on something else, I would get 20 or 24 pieces, depending. Again, I want the heavier stitch. And here you can actually change the color if you want. We're just going to leave it alone and say, okie doke. And it's saved to the memory of the machine. Oh, I like the corner piece already. All right, so look at that. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
I think we're all going to be going back and watching the replay. What numbers did you put in again? Because that looks really good.
All right, let's see if it fits. So we're going to choose that one. We're going to set. And we are going to scan because I need to see what size I need my flowers to be. And let's see if we can make something like that work. Oh, bear with me. I haven't tried this one, so I didn't try the squares either. So,
boy, the back of that quilt as it's scanning,
I know,
just gorgeous under the light of the luminaire.
Yeah, that's why I didn't think I needed to really pull the threads up to the top. The little threads that there's one right there. There's another one. It just kind of blends in. Okay, let's move. Oh, you're going to be able to see this very nicely. Okay. So I think, all right, so again, I'm going to close the scan. I'm going to go into my edit and I'm going to size it. But again, I want the recalculation. And this is why I do this first, because whatever you've done to it, whether you've sized it or moved it or placed it, it will revert back. See, it says, okay, to reset the pattern to its original size, angle, and position. So anything you had done before would be voided out. So I always do this first. It's a good little tip. Okay. We're going to drag it down here again, and I'm going to size this. So I'm going to close the, oh, this is sizing. Okay. Let me just do the overall sizing first and see what I get. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work because there's, well, I don't know. We're going to see. Experimentation, right? Make it a little smaller. Move it over. And then I think I'm going to duplicate it and reverse it. So let's duplicate and let's rotate 90. Let's do 180. There we go. And then move it. Nope, I don't want that one. I don't want it that way. So let's go back. I may have to mirror image it. All right, let's see what we got here. This is what you have to do. You have to kind of play. Oh, there we go. Now I want to rotate it up in the corner. So let's do this. I don't know. Let's do this one out. Oh, look at that. Oh,
That really looks good. Can you zoom in just a little bit, Barbara, on that?
I sure can.
Just for those that might be like, I can't quite see it. I can see it pretty good, but just, there you go. Now just to the right. Oh, other way. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Wow.
So I almost have it, but there's an empty space down here. So, all right, let's size some of these again. So we're going to get out of rotate. We're going to go into size, and we're going to make it a little smaller. All right, let's put it up there in the corner. Oh, okay, well, that's not bad either. I just pulled it up, so I made the, instead of moving it, I actually made it a little taller. So that's kind of cool. Let's move it over. Okay, now let's make this one a little smaller. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to delete this and copy the other one because I can never probably get it to the same size.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
So I'm going to delete that one. Yes, it's okay. And I'm going to duplicate this one now. And then I'm going to flip it. So mirror image it. There we go. And put it over here. Okay, there we go. So we have that. And we have a little open space in there. So let's see. Let's move this first and get it in position. I don't mind that, but I want to put something in the empty space. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. As I said, in the beginning, it takes a little bit of fussing, but once you've got it, you save it to memory, and then you've got it for the next, the rectangles. Okay. I kind of like that. Let's see what we can do. We're going to save this to memory. Now, one thing you're going to run up against, and this is a good tip as well, save it to your machine, because if you go to add, and you go to add another piece, sometimes you get the message that you can't combine them because it thinks that it is a border. All right, let's go back up. Let me see what I got here. Let's see if one of them will fit in there. So let's go here. Come on. Yep, there's the you can't see it, but there's the message. See, cannot be
Oh, right.
combined. Okay, so what you do is you go out of here, you erase this because you've saved it right here. See, you've saved it. So I'm going to erase this. So I'm going to go right back out to my home screen, get out of it completely, and then come back into my embroidery and go back into my memory. And yes, they will have to watch this again because there's a few little steps that you have to take. I'm going to first bring in, and do we have one? Yes, we have a single tulip. All right. So I'm going to set that. Okay. And then I'm going to put it in memory, the machine. and then I'm going to combine them. So I'm going to go back out. We're going to delete this, and then we're going to bring in the two pieces independent. So as
Okay.
soon as you save it as an independent design, you can combine them. Does that make sense?
I'll just have you zoom out just a little bit, just so we can
Oh,
see. A
I'm sorry.
little
I'm sorry. Yeah. Nope, not that way. This
There
way.
you go.
Okay. Okay. So we put them both into the pocket, so you're going to see them when it comes up. So there's the single one, and there's the one that we just created. Now, because they're not in a border function, they're independent designs, and you can bring them in together. So we're going to add that one first. Okay, there's that one. And it's hard to see on the screen, but all right, I'll bring in the other one, and then I'll zoom in. And I'm going to add.
Once you bring them both in, if you just get rid of the background, we can see, because we can see it right there now.
Okay.
Really well.
Okay. So I'm going to bring in the single tulip and see if we can fit that one in. Okay. Now this guy, we're going to bring down here. And let me zoom into the screen. I wish when I zoomed in I didn't have to turn it. Okay, so I think you can see the tulip. I'm going to rotate it. So I'll go up to edit and rotate 90 degrees so that it's upright. And then, oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to size it first. Because what it's going to do is it's going to put it right back in there, and now it's okay to rotate. See what I mean? So if I had done all my arrangements and then went in to size it, it would take it right back and wipe out everything I had. Okay, now, do we want it upright? Let's just see. Size, let's make it smaller. Or do we want it upside down?
Boy, they both look good.
Let's see, yeah. I'm going to really make it close up so you can see, and I'll take a vote. Woo! Sorry, guys. Okay. Oh. And this does not move very easily. I am so sorry.
Hey, look how good we can see it now. It's okay if nobody's going to get seasick.
Okay. There, I just moved the whole tripod. There we go. That's easier than moving the camera itself. Okay. All right.
Wow.
So there it is. Our right side up. Let's turn it. Let's go and rotate it so we have it upside down and see what you think.
That's what everyone's asking. And we want to see it upside down. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go with upside down.
Okay. And then we want to center it in between so that it's nicely nested in here. Okay, so we're going to move it over. And we can go up here and hit 200%. And now I can actually see where the squares should hit. So I have to move it over just a little bit.
Zoom us out just a little bit there, Barbara.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the corner of the square on the box around the design, and I'm matching it up with the two pieces that, the stem of the tulips down here. So I think that's pretty good.
Very cool.
Okay. So we're going to go back out, and let's say 150. Kind of like that.
That's really cute.
Okay. So once again, I'm going to save it because I don't want to recreate. So save it to the machine memory. And let's see, this is black. The green on the black really shows up. So we're going to do that. Okay, so we're going to go to embroidery. I'm going to once again project so I can see it. And now I'm going to zoom out. Move the tripod here. I think that's an easier way to do it. There we go. And I'm going to zoom in to the screen. Let's see if you can see. All right, we're going to do the black. Nope. It's hard to see on the black. I don't know that you can see it. A little bit. You can see it kind of.
Yeah, we can just barely see it.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is just check the edges to see that it's in place and it's where I want it all the way around. Okay. So I just move the box for the projector around and check the edges. That's all.
I love that feature. You can see exactly where it's going.
Yes.
I think it was a good choice to do it upside down. Everybody,
Yeah.
It was a unanimous vote.
Okay, so I like where it is. I think it's good enough. What do they say? Close enough for government work. So I'm going to get out of my projection and press my button. Oh, it doesn't like that. All right, what did I do? Not sure. I think when I broke a needle, of course.
You know, it could have been when you put the bobbin
Yep,
case in.
that's
because
what
you
it
didn't have
was.
good lighting.
Yep, that's what it was. So, yes, we have. And of course, what I have right here is metallic needles, so that's going in. So.
And even if we can't embroider it, they got the idea.
Yeah, I think so. So, all right, let me just.
I just love the back of that quilt.
Yeah, so do I. So do I. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take the hoop off just to check what's going on here. Now, when you use the magnetic hoop, you have to kind of slide it off to the side, especially if you've got all the magnets on. Mm-hmm. You just slide it because it can't go over these magnets here.
I noticed that.
Yes, I think you had experience with that, if I'm not mistaken.
I did.
All right, so I'm going to. Oh yeah, that doesn't look good. That is not good. I didn't get the case in. On the Luminaire, the case is a little more fussy, so you got to make sure that you get it in just right. So needle up, needle down. Okay.
You're all getting way more of a lesson today than you would ever get. But this is really important because if you take that case out, you have to put it in the right way.
Right, and there's a little white arrow right here, and there's a white dot that you have to match. And then you have to get it up underneath the lip so that it sits correctly. And let's turn the. No, I didn't get it in yet. All right. And it's not going to work. I want to get the needle up, needle down. Okay, here we go. Of course, my bracelet's making all sorts of noises. Sorry about that. All right, I think that's in. We'll give it a shot.
Give it a try.
Give it a try.
Oh, Terry said they need more brother dealers closer together. By the way, Terry, you can also call a brother dealer too, even if you don't have one that's local.
Okay, put the case back on the top, snap it in, and let's see if we can make it work. I'm just going to do needle up, needle down, and see. I think so. I don't usually have that problem, but of course we're on live, right?
Of course. That's the only time it's ever going to happen.
Right. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen then. So, okay.
Hi, Dee. Our show is almost finished. We've been on we've been on an hour now. So when we're finished here, you can go back and watch the replay immediately. So you can watch the replay on Facebook. If you just share it to your page, and you can also watch it on YouTube if you go back to YouTube, and be sure to subscribe to the Brother YouTube channel, and you'll never miss a show.
I don't think it's liking it at all.
Well, you know, when you're not live, you can go check that out. So they get the idea, though, Barbara.
All right, let me come back to the screen.
All right, sounds good. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen when we're live. We all know that. And let me just tell you, if I had to do that, I would be a mess. And you are a pro, Barbara. So, oops.
Yeah.
There,
And you know what? It's going to happen to everybody else. So it's kind of nice to see that it's not just them.
Yeah. And that's what everyone, I think that that's one of the things I always, when I go back and read the comments after the live shows, everyone's like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that that happens to somebody else, that you have to double check stuff. Barbara, that was such a cool tutorial. And I think we pretty much got all the questions going through, because everyone said, are those designs built into the luminaire? Well, they're in that sashing part. And depending on the measurements you put in there will depend on what size you come out with.
Yep. And don't forget, you've got the sizing tool, the recalibration of the stitches, and you can go up 200% and down 60.
Which is a lot. Which is
a lot. Right. And it doesn't it doesn't show the stitch count, just changes, and it's just as nice large as it is small. So
yeah. Everyone's saying, awesome job. Thank you. Thank you.
You are so welcome. I love doing this. So, well, I guess we'll say bye until next time, huh?
So for all of you watching, just so you know, if you want to go and watch, Brother now has both blogs, the Brother Sewing and Brother Crafting. I put the website down below. And if you go to Brother Sew, scroll to the bottom, you can see the sewing side or the crafting side, or both. And we always love to see what you're working. So I put our Instagrams above. Be sure to tag us, especially if you're doing one of these projects, because I would love that. I want to see, I actually have my I have quite a few relatives coming in town in about 2 weeks there, Barbara.
Okay.
And the twins, my sister's twins, are 3. And I have some luscious fabric, the same color that you have. And I think I'm going to have to work on something cool like that.
It was a pattern that I typed in, the 10-inch pre-cut squares. I typed in quilt patterns for 10-inch squares, and that was one that came up, and it was really super easy to do. And I got actually 2 out of the 1 pack.
Wow. That's fantastic. Well, Barbara, this is great. I can hardly wait until you're on again. In the meantime, great tutorial. Everyone, you can always keep your comments and questions coming. We always go back and check them.
Okay.
And I see all of you, so many of you come back every week, and we appreciate it so much. I know you have a lot to do, so you spending an hour with us means a lot to us, and we thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, everyone, have a great day. I can't believe it's Thursday already. So the last thing we have this week was on Saturday, an episode of It's So Easy. And next week, wow, Barbara, next week's a busy week. Brothers launching all of their new products.
It is. So I have to go practice this afternoon. So.
I know. It's hard to keep it quiet, but we're keeping it quiet for a few more days. But wait till next week. You see what's coming out. And then in 2 weeks, we have live shows 3 days in a row. At least that's what we're trying to be planning. And you're going to get upfront close-ups of all the new products. This is going to be fabulous.
Good. Look forward to it.
Everyone, have a great day and stay safe and have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.